So what you're about to watch is a walkthrough of Trilogy Comics in Virginia Beach. I've been asked for quite some time from people locally as well as people on my Instagram and Facebook to do a walk around of this shop. And now that I have my um, YouTube channel started, I am following through with that request. So, the video is actually split up into two parts. You have the beginning of the video, which is the anime section and the manga section of the store, and then you have the regular comics, horror, and domestic side of the store. Um, for those of you that aren't interested in anime, the domestic side starts about 17 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe 18 minutes in. I guess that's about it. I will provide the address and location at both the beginning and the end of the video. So enjoy. Hey, before we begin, I wanted to add a quick addendum to the video before I start the walkthrough. This is an old school comic shop. Don't be deceived by the outward appearance. This is the type of place that you will move a box and find a book that hasn't seen the light of day for 30 years. This is the type of place that if you're looking for rare shit, you're going to find it. So, the outward appearance, based on the pictures, can be deceiving. Um, this place is a treasure trove. Enjoy. So, this is the type of store that's, a hidden treasure trove. Very old school comic shop. So, um, so let's start. So here by the door, you got your glass cases with, your hardback omnibus editions. There's the DC side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the anime side of the store first, and then I will do the domestic sci-fi stuff like that. So, up here you have a lot of your high dollar books up there. So if you're into comics, you know, so if we go this side, Gerald, the owner, has just bought a huge book collection from a dude locally. This is the pull section where his customers come in to get their pulls. Of course, you got your Funko Pops up there. You got your Bishojo statues, your Marvel, and your Transformers, and your DC. Again, got some glass cases back there with some statues. So this is the anime section, or at least where it starts. So we'll go to the left. So, come over here. This is a huge box of stuff that he is about to put on eBay and clearance. Got pulled on Wednesday this week. You got your Dragon Ball section right here. Got some Zoids models down there in the corner. Got Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball. Up there, got a nice Fortress Maximus. More larger size Dragon Ball statues up there. And then, of course, you got more Zoids. And then these are manga sets of older manga series. You'll notice also beside them is the first section of Nendroids. That's right, there are more Nendroids. If you're into Nendroids, he's got a crap load of them. And then, of course, you come over here and you have,
You notice you've got manga box sets on the floor. And then, this is the Transformers rack, and then the Figmas, and then, high-end, figures like Voltron's up there, and, got a Black Getter. Got some high-end anime statues for Ultraman and stuff like that. This is the model section. You got Gundams and Zoids, and what is it? Frame arms, stuff like that. Pat Labor. Got some older vintage figures, like bet a bunch of my anime fans, that I'm friends with, they recognize these old figures. Like, that's one of the great things about this shop. You could just like move a box and find figures that are 20, 30 years old. Again, here you go. You got Nendroids, Nendroid. And then, of course, this is hardback manga. Hardback manga is large size manga. Extremely large size manga, because he actually has a separate section for regular large size manga. You have all the magazines, down there, and then of course up here you got really large statues and stuff, like the Shogun Warriors and stuff like that. This is the front side. You got more, like I said, and then this is the new release manga shelves. Notice these small diamond boxes right here. These are inventory for conventions. You'll notice a lot of these around the store. This is all his convention inventory, if that tells you how much manga he takes to conventions. And then, of course, this is where the manga wall starts. So, like I said, the manga wall, if you come down here, you can see it goes all the way down and then around to the right, where the Final Fantasy figures are on the top down there. So, and of course, on top of the manga section, you'll notice a plethora of anime statues. Oop. And like I said, it just keeps going and going and going. Like, the store can be a bit of an obstacle course, but that's one of the things about an old store like this. It the I guess nuance about it, that you can just stumble across something, and then of course again on this side, so come across more anime statues and statues and statues. So this is the art book section. This is like the new release art books or popular art books. And then, of course, you'll notice these boxes right here are his in-store art book inventory. Now, some of these do go to conventions, not the whole thing, but a good majority. More hardbacks and art books. Back over here and just give you a wide angle view of that. Yeah, it's all art books and stuff. And then of course you come around here. This section down here, all these comic boxes down here are all manga comic books. For some of you younger kids, back in the day, before we got regular format manga in the United States, manga used to come in comic book form. So, and these of course are complete sets or collections of certain series, like Ghost in the Shell, so, and then of course this section back in here is backstock inventory. This is what we call the coffin or the casket. It is, like I said, hardback Berserk books, art books. You'll notice down there at the end there's some more Shogun Warriors down there. Again, like I said, more comics as you go across in here. But let's go back this way. Okay. So, more manga. We already looked at that. This is more statues. And like I said, lots of statues. He does a lot of inventory on statues and stuff for conventions. Again, this is more large size manga, some new releases. These long, thin boxes right here, this is regular size manga for conventions. Again, you will see a lot of these boxes around the store. This is his convention inventory. Sometimes he's doing 2, sometimes up to 3 conventions. Not often 3, but and then of course this is the Yowie section. So, and again, more statues up top. Hopefully, if this never sells, or when it does, hopefully it'll be around when I can come get it, because I mean, come on. Now this section's a little messy. He's been cleaning out his eBay room, so there's a little bit of junk on this aisle that's not normally here, like the teddy bear in the acrylic case and the fans. That's because his eBay room, which is back here where the kitchen is, quick view, beyond there's an eBay room, and like I said, we cleaned it out. So again, more anime statues, lots of anime statues, and pop-up parades, and then of course comics everywhere. He's got an ass load of comics, dude. So again, up here, JoJo Bizarre Adventure figures, Cobra Commander helmet, more statues. This is the Bunny Girl section. This is where most of the Bunny Girls are stored in the store. Again, you can see he's got quite a few. Anytime you see a statue that he has, let me see if I can find one. It's so if it has a star, that means it's been around for a while inventory-wise. Every once in a while, you'll see a statue with a slash across it. When I find one, I will let you know. Oh, here's one. Here's a bunny girl right here. This bunny girl right here, you'll notice it says it was $460. He's got it marked down to $350. This is, like I said, he often clearances out figures, and sometimes even does sales where it's buy one, get one for free. Okay, so let's go back down here because I didn't get to go back down this section. So again, you have a small section of Band Presto figures. These are empties for manga because he's constantly getting inventory in. Again, this section over here, again, sorry about the junk on everything, but like I said, we were cleaning out the back room. Like I said, this is his Demon Slayer Jujutsu Kaisen section because that's what's popular right now, and so he makes it easy to find those statues if you're looking for them. Again, more comics. SH Figure Arts Sailor Moon figures. And then, of course, you'll notice up here, this is G.I. Joe. And more G.I. Joe. And we'll get over to that section over there because that is the My Hero section over there. So let's go back around here. For those of you who want to see more bunny girls and stuff, we'll give you another view. Again, more of the manga wall. It goes all the way down there. It comes all the way around here. So, again, manga wall. Up here is you got your Mazinger Z's and your giant robot series. Was it Soul of Shikoken? How do you say it? I know I just murdered that, but and of course you got that up there, and then you got the small one-piece section here. We'll get into the Final Fantasy stuff in a second because that's all up there. Again, just give you a peek down here. More manga. That's right. It just keeps going and going and going. So this is what we refer to as the cage. The cage is this is mostly back stock for conventions. Funko Pops, anime statues. Like you can see some Sailor Moon board games, some Jujutsu Kaisen, stuff like that. Yaoi manga, all back stock. So here's the little small aisle right here. A lot of times, I'll show you the clearance statue section, but a lot of times he puts the larger clearance statues up here, like I said. This is the Band Presto wall. This is all Band Presto and, glitz and glamour statues. The Yu-Gi-Oh! Always goes above the Band Presto wall. Yu-Gi-Oh! And like I said, just... Okay, and then this is the board game section, like for anime board games and stuff. So he's actually got a separate section for nerd board games. We'll get into that in a second. And then of course you got your small trading figures and the mini Q poskets right there. And then like again, old inventory that, like I said, he's got all kinds of cool stuff. Like here's some Monsieur Ballem figures. Like I know a lot of people haven't seen these in 10 or 15 years. Again, You notice he's got some Funko Pops right there. This is all anime Funko Pops, Q Poskets, stuff like that. And then, of course, here is all anime Funko Pops. So, and then there are plushies right there. And then more plushies right there. So Gerald is also a book collector. When I say books, I'm talking like old sci-fi and fantasy. So every once in a while you'll see boxes of those piled up. So, but again, like I said, you got more of the long, thin boxes, manga for the conventions, and then of course large size manga. You know, it's more long, thin boxes of manga for the conventions. I actually, on the other side right here where all the junk was, there's a whole line of long, thin boxes over there, which are more manga for conventions. Again, diamonds for convention inventory, backstock, stuff like that. So let's come around here, back around this side, and like I said, go past the cage and come down here. So, up there's where he stores all his backstock Funko Pops. But, and like I said, you got your like you said, you know, more clearance figures, you know, stuff like that. Large size JoJo. So this is the large size manga wall and the light novel section. So you'll notice it goes from the ceiling to the floor. Sorry, I did that little move a little fast. Didn't mean to do that. And then up here is all Final Fantasy except for the little short section of Nier Automata. Like I said, you know, Final Fantasy, just like all figures. Again, so, and then of course you got those right there, and then so you'll notice there's some back stock right here of Witcher figures. He's got quite a bit of Witcher merchandise, and we're about to go into the gaming section next. But before we do that, I almost forgot, we got to do the My Hero section. So come down here. So this is all My Hero stuff. Like I said, then of course up there he's got his Marvel Select, and this is above here is where all the superhero action figures start. They go across over there, and we'll get to that side of the store in a little bit. So again, like I said, you know, you got more superheroes, and then more My Hero, and then of course more comics. You know, and under here, check this out, more comics under all these tables. Like, you know, comic wise, if you're looking for something, he probably has it somewhere in the store. You know, and then of course come here to the end, and this is a superhero Funko Pops. You know, and then of course more comic inventory. You know, unopened boxes of Demon Slayer, some superhero stuff. Let's go around here, back real quick, and then of course, you know, you got your, you know, My Hero and Dragon Ball, you know, hard plastic figures. Okay, let's go back around, and I'm going to show you the clearance section for anime figures. So, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so this is all clearance anime figures. You'll notice they all have the little slash mark, and they are marked down. You know, sorry, some of the tags have fallen off, but this is all clearance figures. And of course, like I said, at cons, a lot of times, you know, he doesn't need a lot of inventory sitting around for a long time. That's wasted money. So a lot of times at conventions, he will do a buy one, get one, especially on Sundays. So yeah, you know, you should always stop by and see him at conventions. He's at a lot of anime conventions and a lot of comic book conventions. So again, more plushies. And, okay, and then of course you got, you know, gaming figures like Witcher and stuff like that. And then up here you got, you know, Kingdom Hearts and Mario, more Witcher, you know, Halo and Mass Effect. Again, more backstock and convention inventory. Old books, like I said, he collects. He's also got a massive back room of his personal collection, but that's a whole different subject. So, you know, more comics. Of course, come up here, more gaming. So that side of the store is regular comics. So we're almost done with the anime section, you know, and the Japanese related. So, and of course you got Power Rangers down here, you know, and then of course, you know, art books and stuff like that that are American art books for domestic stuff like Aliens and stuff like that. So So of course, again, you got stuff right here like Power Rangers and some horror models and Power Rangers. So in here this is the independent graphic novel section. Over there are the hardback indies, and then of course you got, there I see a few Marvel comics, but not. I think those are the Conan stuff. But like I said, you got all indie graphic novels, and like I said, just woo, woo. And of course, back here is his little storage nook. You'll notice these boxes right here are being packed up for TechoCon in Pittsburgh. And of course, more backstock inventory of manga, and then this is just like, boxes for, doing flats of comics, manga. Of course, up here you've got gaming figures. You got Cyberpunk and Darkstalkers and more Witcher. And of course you got your Storm collectibles, and then, King of Fighters, SNK, and then of course more indie graphic novels. And then come down here and you have, Devil May Cry, Dark Souls, my son's favorite, and one of mine that Resident Evil. My son grew up on that stuff. And of course you got Halo, and, more Devil May Cry, and Dark Souls, and Assassin's Creed, and Zelda. And okay, so now let's start on the domestic side. Look, more manga. Oh yeah, before I start on the domestic side, I forgot to show, I said I'd tell you again, look, more inventory for conventions, all these long thin boxes, and then got more right here. That's how much manga he takes to a convention. Like, can you imagine having to load and unload that stuff every weekend? Okay, so come across here. This is the back side of the horror section. Like I said, you'll see like, Horror Amigos, Ghostbusters, Diamond Select figures up there, and then of course horror board games, and aliens like the Hiya Toys armored personnel carrier, who's got the regular and the deluxe version. And of course you come around here, and this is the Hero Click section. If you're in Hero Clicks, and then of course more up there, and then the small RPG bookshelf. There are other RPGs around the store that are just kind of randomly placed, product placement, like Marvel stuff. And of course, this is the Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi section. She's got plenty of Star Wars, the statues, and Battlestar Galactica, more Star Wars, space, 1999, and then of course up there you got, Robbie the Robot and vintage models. And then this is probably one of my favorite parts of the store because I'm a Star Trek nerd. But you come over here, and then you've got all this Star Trek stuff. Oh yeah. And then of course you got Star Wars comics. You come up here, more Star Wars models, more Star Trek stuff, more Star Wars statues, high-end statues by Gentle Giant. Again, like looking down there, just rows upon rows of comics, and then under the tables, comics. Like I said, the store's a little junky. I mean, but that's the beauty of it. Like, you could just move a box and find stuff. So, like I said, there's the Star Wars and Star Trek graphic novels there, and then of course more Star Wars statues, and more Star Wars statues up there. So this wall is the domestic graphic novel wall. I believe this is, for the most part, just Marvel. Like I said, all Marvel graphic novels. If you're into comics, more comic boxes, and then there is the new release wall. Like I said, it goes all the way down. Just new release comics. Got those there, and you can see that, like I said, I'll just give you a good wide angle of the new release comic wall, and of course, as you can see above the comics, there are statues all the way down. Lots of inventory. Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but you can't come in this place without finding something you want to buy. So, move this ladder. This is DC graphic novels, mostly Batman, Dark Knight stuff. Okay, up there. And then, of course, this is like the small section of, like, DC Black Label. And then, of course, you got your just regular novels, that are released. Got some Harley Quinn figures there, and Thor, his hammer, and then, of course, the Cable statue. Of course, under here, he's got more high-end statues. I will walk around this side. And so this table right here, whenever he gets an order in, this is the sorting table. And there's actually an order due in within the next hour or two. Probably a pallet or two of nothing but new inventory. That's right, I said a pallet or two. Gerald's son, the owner, he is currently at the UPS with the truck picking up. So, of course, over here, these are all pre-built comic boxes. If his employees didn't build these comic boxes and just let them sell, this little section here would probably be empty within a few weeks. That's how many comic boxes the man sells. So, again, new release wall. Okay, up here, got more statues. Like I said, I'll give you a closer look at those. Whoa, and then, of course, come over here. So this is where he keeps a lot of the high-end books, or older comics that people are interested in. Like, it's down there in the glass case. You got a Thor hammer, and you got a Thanos statue and stuff like that. And then, of course, you got Rapunzel and stuff up there. But there's that wall right there. And then, again, these are all back there. Those are the high-end books, the higher dollar vintage books. He's got a big old stack of boxes back there. Those boxes right there are for packing up for conventions. He's actually got about a week or two break without doing a convention, which is really weird. But, of course, these are, a lot of your indie and high-end, just like stuff like, the Transformers collection or the Valiant collections or Buffy from Boom Studios, stuff like that. So, and then, of course, this is, DC side over here. This is the Marvel side of higher end comics. Of course, that's people's holes back there when it comes to action figures, like 1/12 Collective. And of course, you come across here, got your price guides. And then he has got right here, these are all Marvel Select statues. And then, of course, you have up here, you have some more high-end statues and the Mezco 1/12 Collective stuff. And then you got some Mafex right here, some Berserk Berserk figures from SH Figure Arts. So you see these glass cases up here? This is normally where he keeps more high-end books, especially graded books, but they are boxed up because they just got back from a convention last week, and I don't think they've made it back out. Again, the built comic boxes. And then, of course, this is the indie and horror and just like kind of weirdness graphic novel section. So, and then, of course, come back across here. There's the sorting table. And, of course, you got the glass case with those in it. We'll go down this aisle in a second. We're going to go down this other aisle first. So, okay, come back around here. So, again, more high-end statues. You got your back up there, that's Thor's hammer and stuff. This is the Godzilla section. So, there's a bunch of Godzilla plushies and backpacks and stuff. Here's some art books that just came in yesterday from UPS and are needing sorted. What's in this box? This is, Scotty Young. Marvel animated statues. So, like I said, you got your Godzilla and your Godzilla. This section up here is a little empty right now because, again, like I said, he just got back from a convention. He sold a lot of Godzilla stuff at the last convention. So, but there's more coming in. Again, superheroes and Godzilla and Godzilla and Godzilla. And then, of course, high-end statues and more high-end Godzilla statues. You got Kong and, and then, of course, you got more Kong up there. This right here is a section of art books that came in yesterday's shipment. And then, of course, this is the horror section. Of course, you got some stuff like Lord of the Rings up there and Marvel Legends, more Legends and more Legends. I heard the door just unlock behind me, so I think Zach's here. Zach is my favorite person to talk to when I'm here, because Zach is the only person that has a halfway decent musical taste. So I see, but yeah, I got more horror stuff, and then let's come around here. Okay, so again, you got your Invincible and your mini mates, and of course this is like the stuff like turtles, shit like that. So you got you know, He-Man, and just basic John Wick and Bloodsport and The Matrix and Spawn, and then again, more comics. If you're looking for comics, this is where to come. So again, more inventory for conventions, like just you'll see these flats everywhere around the store. And then this is like superhero stuff over on this side. So you got you got the D stage figures right here, and you got your more high-end statues and Ultimate Super Sevens, or Super Seven Ultimates, and then down here is a glass case. This glass case, you'll notice collections of certain books and higher end Funko Pops, higher end Star Trek stuff, and then of course in this glass case you'll notice more statues, and you got some vintage Star Wars figures still on the card. Again, more high-end Marvel statues, and more comics. Again, superhero shit. Cool old vintage style Batmobile for Migos. And then of course up there you got your Migos. You got your DC animated stuff, and more high-end statues. Got some good old-fashioned Judge Dredd. I am the law. And then let's come around to the last section over here. We're almost done. So come back around here, and this is, like I said, there's a little bit of the turtle stuff and stuff on this side. More SH figure arts and stuff like that. Also, if you look over there, I'll walk over there. There is another section of SH figure arts, because like I said, I showed you the Sailor Moon. If you're looking for like Dragon Ball SH figure arts or Street Fighter or other ones, they are right here. Jujutsu Kaisen and so forth. But come back around here, more high dollar books, more Funko Pops, and then of course more comics, just comics beyond comics. So, and then right here you've got just glass cases with Yu-Gi-Oh cards in them, and Magic the Gathering, and more Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic. And then this right here is, you got a lot of your stuff, like you got Preacher and stuff like that, more hardbacks. Back there you got newer inventory Magic, and then you don't need to worry about that. That's just stuff that he pulled and is holding for people. So I think that about wraps it up for the store. So almost forgot. So yeah, you also got more vintage Star Wars figures right here, and then of course it's hard to see. You got in here in that glass case, you got vintage GI Joes, and then you've got vintage Migos and old vintage D&D miniatures still on the card, and then of course you've got like vintage Superpowers figures, some vintage He-Man. So yeah, this is Trilogy Comics. Like I said, it's one of my favorite comic stores to come to. So hey, so you're still here. So we're about to take a look at something. This is my favorite part of the store. So see back here, this ominous doorway. See those racks there? That is all eBay stuff. Those are all things that are on eBay. This is the infamous Trilogy back room that some of you heard me talk about. So see how high the ceiling goes? Like so. To begin, like this side is all just comic cards and boxes of magazines. Again, more comics all the way up there. Just like look at all those comics. Again, magazines, cards, more comics. Like I said, and most of the stuff back there is either backstock or eBay. So I'm going to stop here though, because back there is the lumber yard where if he needs any lumber for projects, it's back there. And then those rolling baking racks are all eBay inventory. There's one, two, three of them. So you heard me say something about Gerald's book collection. See the flats up here? Each one of those flats is all novels, all sci-fi or fantasy. So, and then of course, here's my favorite part of the store that we're coming to. So before, so here is one of Tim's little work areas. Here's some of Gerald's personal collection of statues. He's got, he's a big Harryhausen fan. And of course, there's the tool area. Again, more inventory up there. You'll notice diamond boxes and stuff up there full of inventory. More right here. Artifact statues up there. And then of course, he's got, this is Tim's office, his son, the royal throne. But here is my favorite section of the store. So starting here, we'll notice all these. These boxes are all filled with vintage toys. And of course, here, again, more bins of vintage toys. Bins, like I said, you'll see Power Rangers, G.I. Joe Sigma, Zoids, but everything up here, and here, this is all vintage G.I. Joe and Star Wars. All these diamond toy boxes, all vintage Star Wars and G.I. Joe. And see all the way down there, this is all vintage toys except for one shelf of Jerry's books. So again, like I said, you come through here, like I said, you got toys and toys and toys, and more toys, vintage toys. Yeah, and then of course, more vintage toys. You got some comics right there, but if you look up there, more toys and toys and toys. TMNT, Legos, more Star Wars, posters. And of course, more toys, all these bins, all these boxes full of toys, and then of course you come down here, there's a shop vac. And of course, we got spare plastic bags, but of course Star Trek toys down here, and then of course you got, and all these toys need sorted because all these toys, a lot of them are loose, again, like I said, more toys and more comics. And there's some of Jerry's hardback books up there. And then if you see all these flats hanging here, it's going all the way down. Those are all sci-fi and fantasy novels. Like I said, he's a big nerd into sci-fi and fantasy. I love talking to Gerald about, just like old school sci-fi shit because he's so knowledgeable and he's met so many people over the years. Again, Star Trek, more toys. Bins of nothing but toys. Like here, let me see, is this the bin that I'm thinking? No, this is it, right? All Batman die-cast vehicles from Batman 89. Like just bins and bins and bins of just all these fucking Batmobiles. This is all Batman die-cast cars. Like just a big old bin of them. And we're talking like vintage, like, just insane amounts of toys, like more down there. And then of course bins of just like loose toys, Barbie, Star Wars Episode 1, coming on down here, colored forms, more books, of course, Transformers, cases from the 80s, and of course up there he's got more vintage stuff. And back here, like check that out, that's a vintage Dagobah Swamp X-Wing, down in there. And of course, like bins, this is all Transformers. This whole bin is Transformers. And then this whole bin is Transformers. And this whole bin is He-Man, as is that one. It's just, he has an insane amount of vintage toys. Like, look at that. Like, look at that old ass vintage robot. Like, it's just nuts. And, but like, again, and then of course, these are all vintage toys. And see under here, those diamond boxes are all full of G.I. Joe vehicles and Star Wars vehicles. Just like an absolute, and like back there, look, like He-Man. Like I think there's a Castle Grayskull wrapped in plastic under there. But it's like, this is my favorite part of the store. Like when I come up here, I always find stuff back here because, I mean, being friends with Gerald, I'm allowed to come back here. So, not everybody can, and I know that's a unfair disadvantage. But it's yeah, and of course, like, look at this old Batman Tonka, like, just like insane, like a whole box of just like, Power Rangers and like, just stuff like that. It's just like, old sports figures, like, old, just like, you just name it, like more Transformers, like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Mini Mates, old McFarlane figures, just like an old Rancor, just like, it's amazing. I love this place. So I guess that's about it. But this is my little secret after credits walkthrough. Like, even back here, like, this is all just like anime figures that don't have boxes, like, over the years of collections he's bought with, out boxes and stuff like that. Anime trading figures that are all loose, Micro Machines, Ghostbusters. But so I hope you enjoyed the little after credit scene, and thank you for watching, guys.